Welcome back everyone. Let's make this beautiful baby flock gown together. My name is Imelda aka Emcee. Okay, so I need my plain fabric and my Ankara fabric. You can use your flowered crepe or whatever flowered fabric for the mix. Okay, so I'm going to cut directly on the fabric, unlike other times where we use paper to draft and then transfer to fabric. Today we are going to draft directly on a fabric. So I'm making this dress for a cute little 8-year-old princess customer of mine. First of all, I'm going to mark the margin line of this pattern. Okay, that is where all my vertical lines are going to start from. Okay, that is where I've marked there. So, and then also that will be where my allowance for the shoulder would come from. I marked my bust point. Okay, her bust point is 6.5. After marking the bust point, I marked my waistline. Okay, and then I marked my hip line. All right, so let's go again. My bust point, my waistline, and my hip line. All right, so after indicating all those vertical lines, I'm going to use my ruler to connect all of them. All right, so after connecting, I'm going to start imputing my horizontal measurement. All right, so I'll divide my round bust divided by 4, and then I'm going to place it on that bust point line. Okay, so this is a child's dress. It does not need any chest line or whatever. You don't need to go by anything. Okay, this is the perfect way to get the armhole measurement for a child. All right, so I equally divided my waist by 4, and I marked it on my waistline, and my hip divided by 4, and I also marked it on the hip line. For my allowance, I used 1.5 inches, 1 inch for sewing, and then half inch for ease. Okay, so you can do 1 inch for ease if you desire. So I'm done marking, and then I'm going to go over to my shoulder measurement, and then I marked my shoulder measurement by 2, which is 6 inches, and then I marked it on my bust point as well. I'm going to connect it and then get my shoulder width. Okay, my standard shoulder width for children is 2.5 inches, and then 0.75 for my shoulder slope, and then I'm going to create my shoulder slope. After creating my shoulder slope, and that is when I'm going to mark my desired neck width, and which I use 3 inches, and then for my depth I equally use 3.5 inches. Okay, so and I'm going to connect it in a curve form. After connecting this, I'm going to get the midpoint of my shoulder. Okay, what is left for that shoulder slope, and I'm going to come in by half an inch, and then create my armhole curve. Okay, and that is being done. So for the slanted, for my basque effect, I divided the distance from my waist to my hip by 2, and that is what I marked. And on my center front, I came up by 1 inch. Okay, this is because I do not want the basque to get to the hip line proper. All right, so that is that. I'm going to add all my allowances and before I cut. Then for my back, before I cut, I'm going to first of all cut my back neckline. Okay, my back neckline I used 2 inches. All right, so after that I'm going to add allowances and then cut off my pattern. All right, remember to add allowances where necessary. All right, so added on the sides, but on the armhole, neckline, and the length of my dress, I've equally added half inch allowance for sewing. So I'm going to take this pattern, my front pattern, and then place it on the back, and then use a 1 inch allowance for my zip. All right, you know that if you are using lining, you're going to be using 1.5, but for this I used just 1 inch for ease because I'm not using lining. All right, so I cut off the pattern, and then I cut off the neckline for my front as well. So this is my pattern, you all. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead to slit my zipper allowance, okay, to make the back pattern two pieces. Okay, so I'm going to measure what I have there on the length of my dress and then multiply it by 4, and that is what I'm going to use to get my pattern, my lower part, the gathered effects. Okay, so I'm going to measure the length of my desired length. For the length, I removed my upper part, what I used for my upper part. Okay, I removed it from the remaining, whatever is remaining on the lower part. Okay, so that is what I used here. So it's time to sew it together, and then I'm going to first of all join the shoulder. I'm going to lay the back and front together and join the shoulder. Like I told you, this does not have a lining. All right, so I'm going to join the shoulder. After joining the shoulder, I'm going to join the side as well. Okay, so for the side, remember that we left 1 inch allowance the um for the allowance. Okay, so I've joined the side, and I'm going to go ahead to sew about 2 inches for my zip closing for on that hip part. I'm going to just close zip 2 inches, and then I'm going to attach my zip. Okay, I'm going to attach my zip. I believe you know how to fix your zip by now. Okay, so I'm going to fix my zip, and after fixing my zip, I'm going to fold the neckline and the armhole as well. All right, so I've fixed one part of my zip. I'm going to close it up and fix the remaining part of this zip. Okay, I'm using an invisible head zip. If you are asking the type of zip I'm using, I believe this is more stronger and more finer, okay, in the market there. So for my neckline, I'm going to cut off the excess of the zip I have there, and then I'm going to measure about 1 inch strap, okay, bias for my neckline. I'm using the same fabric that I use for the dress. Yeah, so I'm going to turn the neckline. I will advise you to always use the same fabric you use for your dress or for your outfit to turn necklines or arm size, that is armhole. Okay, it always looks neater that way than bias. There are cases where you can use bias, but using the same fabric would give you that neat finishing that you crave for. Guys, if this is the first time you're coming across my channel, please do not forget to subscribe, like, and share for more interesting tutorials. Okay, we are also on Facebook, on Instagram, and on TikTok at Emcee Collection. If you have any dress style you want me to recreate, you want me to teach, or any outfit at all, please do not hesitate to reach me out. You can drop it in the comment section, or you can reach me out on my social media handles. All right, so I am done sewing my attaching my neckline, and I'm going to fold it. Okay, I'm going to fold the bias in just the way we fold our bias. Okay, I'm just going to fold on ½ inch first, and then fold on the remaining ½ inch. Okay, just look closely um to your screen. You're going to see how I folded it. Okay, you fold once and then fold the second time. Okay, and then you're going to fold it all the way to the end, making sure that your fabric is not folded, your fabric is not joined, and there is no excess on your fabric. Just make sure to remove every fabric on the way as you sew. This can be very tricky, okay, but just take it slow and steady and you're going to get it. You're going to avoid those mistakes that I mentioned, and you will see that it will come out just fine. All right. So I'm done sewing the neckline, okay? I'm done folding it, and this is what we have here. You can see how fine and beautiful it is. All right, so I'm going to cut off my zip excess, and I'm equally going to top stitch on there so that it doesn't remove, it doesn't open up. All right, see how neat our zip is. I'm going to gather my lower part, okay, but before then, let's fold our arm side. All right, this is my arm side, so let's fold it just the way we did with our neckline. All right, so I usually like to start my folding my arm side um from the lower arm where the side is sewn, okay, it's closed. So I like to start the and finish it there so that it will look more neater that way. So I first of all sewed just the way we did our neckline, and then I folded twice as well and sew it, okay. So just like you did on the neckline, you're going to take it slow and steady. This is not something you're going to rush. If not, you're going to make a lot of mistakes, and you wouldn't want that. Okay, so I'm done sewing my arm side, and you're going to go ahead to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, I'm done doing that as well, and this is our waistline. I've gathered my lower part as well, the Ankara fabric, and I'm going to start from the zipper line at the back. I'm going to start at my on my zipper line, okay, together, so that by the time I finish gathering and I come back, the closing would only be on the zipper part, okay, and the sides won't have any closing. All right, so but this fabric, I joined it because the fabric wasn't enough. It wasn't straight all through. I joined it at some point, but I still started on my center back. All right. It's always easier that way. So after attaching it, you're going to hold both of them together, the both ends, and then join with whatever allowance that you left. For me, I left a half-inch allowance, okay. I left a half-inch allowance, and then joining I'm done joining, and I'm going to hold that part that I left, okay, those few inches that I left earlier. I held it down, and then I stitched it back, like I closed it, okay. So I am done closing it, and I went ahead to a notch, and then this is what we have, okay. So our dress is ready. You can see how beautiful this dress is. My camera is not even doing justice to how beautiful it is. All right, so I usually used a butterfly sticker to beautify it. Children usually love this when they see it on their dress. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and share. Bye bye.